the leading scorer for Tarleton State, really the X factor for the Texans. Hobbled a bit in pregame warmups, hurt his right foot last game out. He's out there right now, Stephen. How long can he go tonight? That's one of the big question marks.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's out there. Looks like he's moving pretty good, but Goodrick, Hunter Goodrick, has kind of had his way so far offensively, and Ja'Cory Smith has been the guy guarding him.
Second year at Tarleton State, and he actually has the highest scoring output of any player in the WAC this year when he scored 34 against FIU in non-conference play, so he can really fill it up.
I got to tell you, I love Ja'Cory Smith's game.
Barnes with a high floater off the glass, and an offensive foul on the loose ball will be called against Keandre Gaddy. But yeah, Smith's such a fun player to watch. Kind of really sums up this Tarleton program. He can score in a plethora of ways. He can defend multiple positions. Almost positionless basketball is what Billy Gillespie instilled, and now Joseph Jones handling at the helm so well. Here's Goodrick in the low post. And fade away two off window. He's so good at that move, and it's Hunter Goodrick with 5 early points.
It's funny when Goodrick does that, he actually releases the ball when he's on the way down. He's almost touching the court. A lot of players, they like to shoot that they're at their highest point, but Goodrick, he's a crafty lefty out there, I'll say that.
Texans just 2 of 7 to start. An 8-point Lancer lead, the largest of the night so far, but that changes right away in a confident stroke from Innocenti.
Yeah, the freshman, he can beat you in a couple different ways. He's so quick, his first step, so you really have to, respect that, but then he can dot your eye out there as well.
Joined the program late, showed up in Stephenville in September, had a couple of visa issues coming over from Italy. Lou Williams with a great pump fake, drives inside, Euro step and a handoff, and it's a fantastic move. Kendall Colbert was able to deflect it, and it will stay with Tarleton. Barnes will throw in. And it's Smith. Mid-range two is a tough shot, but he got it to go, and that's going to add a lot of confidence to Ja'Cory Smith's game.
Yeah, he loves that elbow mid-range game early in the contest, kind of get his shot going, see the ball go through the cylinder a couple times, and you're right, he could get his offense started here.
That'll make you forget about any pain once you get going offensively.
Right.
Foul went on Barnes there, that's his first. As Butrogo checks back in for CBU. This is a Tarleton State squad, by the way. They're not going to go very deep into their bench, and that is unusual based on what we've seen from Texan squads of years past, where you would see 12, 13 guys on the floor during a game. They have really started to ride with the starting unit as much as they can. And you see why, because of plays like that. Keandre Gaddy with a great block.
Yeah, Gaddy, he's ever present in the middle. Such a great perimeter defense. But you slip by one of those guys, Gaddy's waiting for you.
Daniels Jr. Pick and roll down low, and Kendall Coleman couldn't finish. Second effort is there. Stephen, these are 2 of the best offensive rebounding teams in the conference. Both over 12 per game, top 65 nationally for both sides. So far, CBU's led on the offensive glass. Yeah,
CBU looking like they're making a very concerted effort to get after it on the boards here early.
Smith, a little shake and bake. Move to the bucket, did not go. Back tapped, and there is an offensive rebound. Lou Williams now going to work. Fine defensive play, and we got to give Brantley Stevenson some credit. He's been all over the floor so far tonight. Washington driving baseline. There is Stevenson. In and out, no good. And the rebound falls to Gaddy.
Yeah, great defense by Brantley Stevenson. Lou Williams, for not a huge guy, he does very well in the paint. There's Devin Barnes.
Barnes, the sophomore out of Hinesville, Georgia. Smallest player besides Dominique Daniels Jr. on the floor, just 6 foot 171. But a nice aggressive take there. So the Texans have leveled out the water a bit after a slow start. And it's game on now in Riverside. Daniels Jr. yet to attempt a shot. 7 to shoot. Spins around. Dances through traffic, now finds Woodrogo. The big fella's denied. And it's a shot clock violation on CBU.
That defense, Tarleton State, they really get after it. I mean, if you like to catch the ball 15 feet from the basket, well, guess what? Tonight you're catching it 25 feet from the basket. They make everything uncomfortable.
It's exactly what acting head coach Joseph Jones had to say to us. He said, our defensive mantra, we try to limit catches and make it tough for guys, put them in a position that they're uncomfortable in and they don't work on every day. And that's been the mark of this program under Billy Gillespie. And Joseph Jones has been by his side the entire way through from year one in this conference.
The junior, number 2, Jackson from Anchorage is in there. He's a really good piece off the bench for this team.
Tough mid-range jumper, and again, it's Devin Barnes with a confident stroke. And the Texans back to within 1 after a slow start.
You can fall asleep on Devin Barnes.
Dominique Daniels Jr. There's a guy you don't want to fall asleep on. Third leading scorer in the WAC at his first bucket of the night, a triple.
I like Daniels coming in and letting the game kind of come to him, waiting a few minutes, seeing an open look, and then burying it.
He has lit it up on this floor. 2 games already this year, over 30 for Daniels Jr. Tough runner for Barnes, did not drop. Lancers out in transition. Washington got caught in the air. It's picked off by Barnes. Coast to coast, over Childs. Could not get it to go. Nice recovery defense from the JUCO transfer, Chris Childs.
How about Childs was going to take that 3 there after the good defensive set there.
Childs, who has not played since the New Mexico State game back before the new year. Trying to get his feet back under him perhaps a bit. Transfer from Citrus College. Young man out of Elk Grove, California. Squandered opportunity on that transition possession. There's an Ascenti. 17 feet away, could not get it, but on the offensive glass, it's Keandre Gaddy. First in the WAC in offensive rebounds, and already holds the Tarleton State single-season record in offensive rebounds. We're only in very early January. No over and back because of the deflection. Woodrogo down low to Childs. Nice scoop pass. Coleman got it to go. Unselfish play again by Chris Childs, and Kendall Coleman scores a paint bucket.
Yeah, I like Childs coming in and just trying to do the little things, makes the extra pass right there, makes his post player a little bit better, puts him in a good position.
Nice flow to this game so far. How about just 2 fouls total?
I like it.
Both on Tarleton State. We're playing through the 12 timeout right now. Ascenti to the elbow. Great contest, and Scotty Washington was able to swat it away and take us to a timeout. That was one part of number 12's game he's worked so hard on, his defense. You got to be tough defensively to play in this game tonight. The Lions bring to the program 2 programs that also among the nation's best in defense, in terms of statistically speaking. So expect a gritty ball game tonight. Tarleton State and CBU. It's conference basketball in Southern California. Ball in the air, and we're underway. CBU wins the opening tip-off. They're in their home whites. The Texans in their road purple. We mentioned those offensive struggles for CBU, and man, they've been paramount. They would love to start fast tonight offensively. That's really plagued them, Stephen, for a good portion of this season, and it was the same way on this recent 3-game road trip where they lost all 3.
Yeah, I thought they played good in the first half against Seattle U, but you've got to play it for all 40 minutes.
Led by 15 at one point in that game of the second half against the Redhawks. Seattle ultimately came back and won on a buzzer beater. An early look for both sides at the rim did not go, and now CBU looking to push it ahead in transition. It's Daniels stopping and going, kicking out to Goodrick, an extra find to Stevenson. There's a nice offensive sequence, and it's the local product, Brantley Stevenson, knocking it down.
Yeah, great to see Brantley Stevenson hit his first basket of the game. Normally he starts a little bit slow, but he is a guy who can really provide offense this entire game for the Lancers.
We've talked about it at length throughout the year as a traveling violation is called against Gaddy. But Stevenson, this season, now 37 points in the first halves of games, 100 on the dot in the second half. So he is absolutely a second half player. Lancers would love to see it all for all 40 tonight.
Yeah, and tonight is a night that they need it because this is a really tough opponent, especially defensively.
Tarleton allowing just 64.1 points per game. But we mentioned how they're so similar. CBU only allows 64.3 points per game, so nearly dead on. Blondo Chiqueño, it's what he does best. Get inside the lane, and a little push shot in the painted area. CBU on top 5-0.
And that's something that he'll need to do in this one because the guard play for Tarleton State, the Texans really get after it on the perimeter. There is nothing easy when you're playing offense against them.
Sloppy shot inside by Keandre Gaddy, the senior from Dallas. He's one of those guys that plays beyond his size, 6'6", 215, but he'll scrap down low with any big guy. Chiqueño with a corner three. Offensive rebound for Stevenson. Out to Goodrick. He'll pull and connects. And that's the start CBU's been desperately wanting. 8 straight to start the ball game.
Yeah, Hunter Goodrick in rhythm there with the three. Really good selection. If you make it, if you don't, then you question the shot after the offensive board.
Move inside, and this is the talented freshman, Emmanuel Innocenti. Beautiful move down low. Udrogo is able to swat it away. It'll stay with Tarleton State.
Excellent defense there by YO. Anticipating. And then no contact in the lower body, so great move there.
The athleticism of Udrogo, 6'9", 250. Yeah. It has been something that not many people really knew he had. He's really shown it off all season long. Nice inbounds play, and it is Keandre Gaddy giving the Texans their first 2 points of the night.
I like Keandre Gaddy's game. He is like a walking double-double out there. Going to be really interesting to see the matchup between him and YO.
13 and 7 so far this year. Udrogo went right to the rim and got 2.
And there's that matchup I was just alluding to. YO taking it to the big fella, and might be a plan for the Lancers to try to attack the interior and maybe get him into some foul trouble.
Motion offense here for the Texans. On the road this year, 3-3. That's already more road wins, Stephen, than they had all of last season as a runner in the lane for Innocenti goes.
Yeah, I love the freshman, Emmanuel Innocenti. When they start making those motions, you got to watch out. Things open up in the lane for the offense, and there's several guys that can just take it to the rack for him.
He's a fun story and a young player that has unlimited potential, it seems. Fast start offensively for CBU, 4 of their first 7. 2 of 3 from downtown. Those both very welcome stats. Goodrick. He'll pull another triple. It's an off back iron. Rebound fought for and controlled by Tarleton State. Here comes Ja'Cory Smith. Leading scorer for Tarleton, but battling an injury tonight. Keep an eye on number 6 in purple to see what he can do tonight.
Yeah, I love Ja'Cory Smith's game, but I think he's a little hobbled here to start things off, and I think that's why Goodrick has been so open and offensively.
Try to backdoor cut inside to Innocenti. It was deflected out of play by CBU as the first substitution of the night for the hometown Lancers. Kendall Coleman as well as Scotty Washington into the fold.
Kendall Coleman might just be a large X factor in this one for CBU. We'll keep an eye on that here.
6'8", 230 junior from Shreveport, Louisiana. An LSU transfer and has shown flashes of being, like you said, Stephen, that X factor for this CBU team. Trying to find that consistency, and really that sums up this entire Lancer squad.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. And the minutes are starting to pile up for Coleman, so he's getting his feet wet. He's out there, in the fold, if you will.
Second turnover of the night on the Texans. Goodrick runs the floor. Washington will hoist. This hit a little heavy. Another offensive rebound for Stevenson, but he could not snare it all the way through. And it will take us to the first time out of the ball game. The Lancers desperately wanted a quick start. Well, they've got it tonight. They lead by 6, 10-4. To get minutes last year, finally got a bit of a roll this year, especially as the 6th man. But that defensive part of the game, we know he can fill it up offensively, but it's that defensive aspect where he's really had to work, and you see plays like that work paying off.
Yeah, that'll keep you on the floor for more minutes.
There's Daniels Jr., such a quick first step, and he got it to go off window. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
Nothing Innocenti could do right there. He held his hands up in the sky like, what did I do? But a little contact there. Don Daniels going to the line.
Every single coach we've talked to this year, the first thing they say when they're asked about CBU, they bring up Dominique Daniels Jr.
Yeah, as they should.
Scorer
as
is what should. Joseph Jones described him as. Couldn't get the 3-point play free throw to go. The Lancer lead is 6, under 9 minutes to go first half. Nice steal by Childs. Full head of steam. Tough layup. Does not go, but Washington on a reverse layup is there. They call the two of them twins, Childs and Washington. And the duo able to clean up a mess. 9 for 2.
I like the duo right there. What are friends for? Scotty Washington. Make sure to clean up for Chris Childs, who that was great defense by the Texans to force Childs into that sort of a shot.
Longest run that Childs has had since really the opening stages of the season. Another nice move for Devin Barnes, who looks really aggressive offensively so far here tonight. Already 6 points.
Yeah, you fall asleep on Devin Barnes as far as all these offensive weapons that the Texans have, but Barnes, he leads the team in three-point shooting, and he could fill it up.
Drogo was doubled from behind, and guess who it is? Barnes yet again with a very sly play. The Lancers will keep possession on the loose ball tie-up.
As far as like 50-50 balls and basketball IQ, the Texans, they're going to win that a lot of times during the season. You got to be really, really on your toes with this team.
They take on the mentality of their head coach, Billy Gillespie. Correct myself there. It's Texan basketball after the loose ball tie-up. Already 6 turnovers against CBU, and as you mentioned, that's something they really wanted to limit tonight against a Tarleton State team that forces turnovers at a really high rate.
When I was thinking about the keys of the game, I thought turnovers, CBU has to limit them below 10 the whole game.
Chance at a 3-point play, down low and inside. Strong move by Dario Domingos, 6'7", 250 junior from Midland, Texas. They'll have a chance at a 3.
Wow, that's an interesting little tidbit there.
They won their MTE in San Juan Capistrano back around Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Which was a milestone for this program as well. First tournament win as a Division I program. The and one free throw is good for Domingos. The Texans back to within 3. Tarleton State in that final year of the Division I transition. And they've proven they can compete in this conference, even going through that 4-year phase from D2 to D1. Chiqueño slipped, was able to find Goodrick, even though he was falling down. Lancers taking their time here offensively. It's Goodrick. 5 points already tonight for the Australian. He's double-teamed. Steps through for Childs. The 3. No good, left it short. And the rebound's picked up by Boo Boo Benjamin, the freshman out of Medicine Hat, Ontario.
He's a good piece for this team coming off of the bench. Provides a spark, a lot of energy, good rebounding. He can handle the ball, too, for a big fella.
A solid athlete in Benjamin as well, number 11 in purple. There's Childs again. Scraping it, nearly had himself another breakaway steal. 5 to shoot. Vicente out of control. And a whistle and a traveling violation against the Texans.
And Vicente was just running at a time, out of control, and got the chair pulled out from under him there and fell down. But I think CBU wants to try to attack Ja'Cory Smith, so look for Hunter Goodrick to be an integral part of the offense here.
So Childs out for Stevenson. 5 minutes for Childs, and I think you got to say he did his job off the bench for Rick Croy.
Oh, yes. Yeah, great job, especially defensively. Had a couple of assists as well.
Daniels Jr. All-out pressure from the time he walks across half court. Still got to the basket. They'll have a couple of free throws. It's like he hits a launch pad at times, and there's just no way you can stop him. One destination, it's the rim. People around this conference, people around this conference have obviously taken note of just how dangerous and tough he is to defend.
I love his aggression, getting in the paint right there, getting himself to the line here.
Free throw is a big-time storyline tonight as well. Tarleton State excels at the line, 74% as a team. That's leading the WAC, 43rd in the country. Meanwhile, CBU, they get there a whole lot, but they're 323rd in the country, Stephen, in terms of free throw percentage at just 65.4%.
And it's not just YO that we can point to in that situation. I don't want to name any other names, but the whole team needs to shoot better from the line. That goes without saying.
In this conference, of course, every single game you're expecting to go down to the wire. And Of course, you can point at many different statistics, but free throws, one of those you have to convert on at a high clip. 2 of 2 for Daniels that time. Lancers back on top by 5. They've led by as many as 8 in this first half. Another move to the basket for Barnes did not go this time. Coleman clears. Daniels Jr., good pop in his step tonight. Same with Brantley Stevenson, although he'll dribble out of traffic, nearly lose it. In fact, regains possession somehow. Goodrick off to Coleman on a broken sequence, and Kendall Coleman gets it to go.
And those X factors for the Lancers, Kendall Coleman, and it's just good hustle there by Brantley Stevenson and Hunter Goodrick to keep that one alive and get it to the big fella.
6 points, 4 rebounds in the first half off the bench for Coleman. Tarleton State has not scored in over 2 minutes as they look to change that here. Ja'Cory Smith. Pick and roll down low, and it was a beauty to Gaddy, who finishes at the rim.
When you play together and you kind of know each other and you see the movements, the eye contact, and you can have plays like that, really nice cut.
Smith and Gaddy, 2 of the 5 returners for this Tarleton State team. They have a big roster. How about 16 new guys as Coleman missed the dunk, tried to finish on the rim, and it looks like it'll be a technical foul called for hanging on the rim for Kendall Coleman. We talked about this at our last game. Class A, Class B technical amounts to essentially nothing.
The ball don't lie,
as Rasheed Wallace would say.
Impressive.
I know my early 2000s NBA action. Come on now. I'm not that young. Daniels Jr. will inbound on the baseline. Lancers by 5. Crucial stretch of this first half here. Goodrick, another fadeaway 2. In and out. Offensive board to Stevenson. Swarmed by every single purple shirt. It did not matter. Brantley Stevenson for 2.
Wow, Brantley Stevenson. He's got eyes in the back of his head. I guess he could feel all those bodies landing and jumping around him there. He knew right when to go back up with that one.
He has an extra hop in his step tonight. Best we've seen Stevenson in quite a while.
And really, it was the play there was obviously he made the basket, but wow, Ja'Cory Smith. But it was the position that Brantley Stevenson got in for the offensive rebound that was most impressive about it.
Most impressive indeed for Stevenson, and then Smith on the other end, an impossibly tough shot. Goodrick open for 3 more. Can't get it to go. Long rebound falls to the Texans. They've been able to keep this right around a 5-point spread for the majority of this first half. And that's kind of the way the Texans have been, just that gritty team. You can't put them away, and they've been so good this season in close games as well.
Yeah, 3 of their wins in WAC have been by a bucket, right? Or less.
Yeah, all 3 wins in the WAC so far by 2 points.
Wow, yeah.
Lou Williams was fouled. They'll have a couple of free throws after the timeout. A fun one brewing in Riverside here tonight. The Lancers on top by 5.
He's a good first-half player. It just somehow hasn't materialized for him this year, but I saw him with Cal Poly the last 3 seasons. He's fine for 40 minutes.
Transferred from Cal Poly to CBU, like you said, to be closer to home. Product out of Rancho Cucamonga. Wanted to be able to play in front of friends and family every single night for his final year of college basketball. First free throw was good for Lou Williams. Our impact player tonight, the senior from Atmore, Alabama. 1 of 2 at the free throw line. And the WAC's leading rebounder, Hunter Goodrick, pulls down his 4th of the night. CBU has the 2 leading rebounders in this conference. There's the other one, Ivan Woodrogo, and he gets a crafty layup to go off window for 2.
Well, those situations where you almost get penalized for being so large. No foul call there, but got to get back on defense.
And he does. Inside it's Gaddy looking for airspace. Won't find it. Great defense by Woodrogo, who runs the floor right back. Sets a screen for Daniels. It's Chiqueño who travels. 7th turnover on CBU.
When you see the big fella running the court like that, feed the big fella. They might have been getting it, swung around to get to the big fella in the post there, but you see him running the court, you got to reward the big guy.
Big props needs to be given to CBU's strength and conditioning coach Michael Robinson for the work he's done with Ivan Woodrogo so far this year. Put on a whole bunch of muscle and has allowed him to run back and forth at 6'9", 250. Transfer from GCU. So Vicente, 6'5", running the point here for the Texans. product of Italy. Zanico, Italy. 70 kilometers north of Milan, and there's
goodness.
A three-ball knockdown.
Ja'Cory Smith looked like he was trying to draw contact there more than he was trying to make the basket, but he made the basket anyways.
Tough shot making already for Smith. He's hit a couple of ridiculously tough shots. Texans 5 of their last 7 from the floor. They're back to within 3. Daniels pushes it back to 5.
Love Daniels in the mid-range game. He's so quick. That little floater, nothing you can do about that on defense.
Story of this first half so far, Steven. Tarleton State trying to tiptoe right by CBU, and the Lancers got their arm out saying, no, I'll keep it at 5. 2 minutes to go until halftime. And Lou Williams again isolated all by himself. Was able to draw the foul from Washington.
It's funny because Lou Williams a lot of times will get isolated in the post against a smaller defender, but Scotty Washington is actually taller than Lou Williams, but Lou Williams still was like, hey, let me post this guy up.
Williams to the foul line, 73% so far this season. Knocks down the first one. The 3 leading scorers for Tarleton State, Smith, Gaddy, and Williams, all of them came by way of either a D2, NAIA, or JUCO.
Yeah.
It goes to show kind of that chip on their shoulder that not only those 3 have, but this entire program has as well. And now there was a technical foul given on CBU.
I didn't see what happened.
It's awarded to the bench. So a technical free throw is knocked down on Devin Barnes. So the second technical on the Lancers in this first half. Of course, the first one was her hanging on the rim. It was a Class B. And a couple of technical free throws are knocked down, and Texans will take those 2 points without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And now another free throw for Lou Williams. So a chance at a big-time possession here, all from the charity stripe.
A little bit of a momentum swinger there.
So the Texans pick up big-time points at the free throw line because of the technical foul, and they are within 1 point. Here's Goodrick. Nice swing out to Stevenson for 3 more. He missed everything.
Good idea, though, by the Aussie. Trying to make the extra pass, driving in the lane, and kick it out to your open shooter.
40% three-point shooter on the year is Brantley Stevenson. Texans can take the lead here for the first time all night long. They've got it. Their leading scorer, Ja'Cory Smith. 7 to shoot. Smith will hoist. Another tough shot. Can't get it to go this time, and the rebound cleared to Scotty Washington.
Great job there by the Aussie, tipping that one to Washington. He only had one arm free. Get it to your teammate.
Motion offense here for CBU. Stevenson will hand back to Daniels. Splits a double team. Lost it, though. They'll throw it ahead to Domingos, and it's an over and back violation.
You don't want to throw it to the big fella in transition. Sometimes the big fella will make a little faux pas like that.
6'7", 250, and it almost looked like hot potato, like I'm not going to run the floor.
He's like, I don't want this ball. Let me get this to a guard.
The 6th turnover of the first half on the Texans gives possession right back to CBU. Under a minute to go in this first half. Lancers have led wire to wire so far. Daniels hoists a 3. Missed it. Offensive board to Goodrick. Washington a second chance. Udrogo cleans up the glass yet again, and the 3rd time is the charm for CBU.
Love seeing YO work in the post. Such a specimen, and going up and down like that, that's some work.
6 points in the first half for YO. Lancers back on top by 3, and a 4-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Texans will wind this down. Here's Barnes. Round 2 defenders. Mid-range J is Silky. Devin Barnes having himself a game. 10 points. Here's Daniels Jr. Gets to the basket. Wasn't even looking at the basket as he hoisted. Did not get it to go. And we've reached halftime. We expected a close one, Steven. That's what we've gotten through 20 minutes of play. CBU, Tarleton State in a whack battle. Lancers box in the paint. for Tarleton State, 16 of 34. So it'll be Texans basketball to start off this second half. Tarleton State looking to continue on this magical start to conference play. The Lancers trying to regain their footing. We're underway in the second half with Tarleton State in the road purples, the Lancers in white.
Some would say magical, some would say they're using the force.
Innocenti. Entry pass on the block. Backing down is Gaddy. Spin move, and it's rejected by Woodrogo. Second athletic block tonight from Ivan Woodrogo.
Got that big paw out there and said, no, I'm not going to let you score.
11
he said
to
it
shoot.
with a French accent, though.
11 to shoot for the Texans, the native of Bordeaux, France. There's Barnes, who leads the way scoring for Tarleton State so far. He's got 10, hoists a deep three, no good. Rebound to Woodrogo.
Defense on point there in the perimeter, and that was Dominique Daniels Jr. with the defense there.
Goodrick was calling for the ball in the post. Lancers couldn't find it, but instead it's Chiqueno. A little runner in the lane is true for Blondo Chiqueno.
Chiqueno got a little runner in the lane going the other way to begin the ball game. Hadn't had another basket until that one.
Yeah, both his field goals tonight, not a surprise. Scored inside the painted area. He's been so good scoring inside the three-point arc this year. 67% shooting from two-point land this season.
And that goes up as he's closer and deeper in the paint.
There's Barnes, another long possession. Smith will hoist. A little heavy on it. Another rebound to Woodrogo. He's now got 6 points and 5 boards.
Corey Smith found himself too wide open there.
Daniels knifes his way through the defense. Couldn't get it to go. Offensive board to Woodrogo. He's tied up, and the possession arrow will favor CBU.
Smart play there. Keandre Gaddy getting his big paws on the ball.
11 offensive rebounds already for CBU in this game. They've been an excellent offensive rebounding team all year at 12 per game. Seems like they're going to soar over that here tonight.
I mean, listen, the Texans are really good defensively, so you're going to need to clean up some of your misses.
Goodrick, turnaround two off the window. And Hunter Goodrick has been in his goodie bag tonight, 7 and 7.
Yeah, he is so good. So many different tools he can bring out.
Innocenti. Now Smith with a touch. Tries to work around Woodrogo. A tough two, could not drop. And that's maybe where you see the injury hampering Smith. Couldn't blow by Woodrogo. Had to settle for a tough two.
Which normally he would have just blown right by YO.
5-point Lancer lead.
Nothing against YO. That's just the kind of offensive player Corey Smith is.
Here's Goodrick. Falling away from the basket. It does not matter.
That almost reminds me of the shot he had at Seattle U. He's on the ground and he put one in. He was falling down there and made that basket.
Yeah, for reference, if you didn't see that, Goodrick was literally on his backside. Yes. The Lancers' last game up in the Pacific Northwest. Nobody was open around him. He had the ball on the ground right in front of the basket. Was able to put it up and in.
He tried to get up and travel.
No good. Offensive rebound. Smith stays down on the ground, by the way. Loose ball scrum. Texans will keep it. Innocenti will pop. No good. Here comes Chiqueno. Smith not looking good in this last sequence. Daniels Jr. an open three. And a foul on the ground against Tarleton State.
Yeah, Corey Smith, he looks gassed. I'm not sure if it's the injury per se, but he looks, like you said, he stayed on the ground a couple extra moments there.
He's going to stay in the game as of now, but he's having a tough time just making it back up and down the floor after that last sequence. Heavy limp.
Yeah.
Biggest limp we've seen of the night. Here's Goodrick. Puts it on the deck. Chiqueno back to that money move. Got to the rim for two more.
Yeah, you get the step. It's a quick first step to blow by, even against a great defender like Devin Barnes. You got the space. You're in the lane, put it up and in, and Chiqueno does that very well.
8 straight scored for CBU out of the halftime break. Just the start they wanted to start this second half. Lou Williams with a tough two. Got it and one.
I love a guard that can post you up, and Lou Williams can do that with efficiency.
Travar Jackson returns for Tarleton State, and they will go ahead and get Ja'Cory Smith out of the game.
Mercifully.
Williams will go back to the free throw line. 5 points tonight. He's been a hot player as of late. He scored over 10 in 3 straight conference games. All 3 so far this year for the Texans. Got the 3-point play, and Tarleton needed that in the worst of ways to pull back to within 5.
CBU try to keep
6
the pedal
reps
to the metal here.
Goodrick. Stevenson. And he moves, steps through the defender. We'll find Goodrick. Patient possession offensively here for CBU. A couple of open shots been passed up.
Now you hope that you can get one before the end of the shot clock, too.
Daniels Jr. can always find his own shots. This time unselfish, and Coleman was fouled. Daniels Jr. able to slither through the defense, get to the basket at will. That time finding Kendall Coleman, who will shoot 2 when we come back. Lancers on.
Yeah, do I?
Well, you can take a guess.
Oh, I take a guess right now?
You don't have to, but you can. Or give us your thought process on this. You
I
already said
thought
33
it was going to be a Star Wars trivia question, first of all, because it's Star Wars night. So you've led me astray there. But I'll go with B.
Okay.
I don't even remember what B was, but just based on you always picking C, and I called you out for that, so now I'm going B.
Coleman 2 of 2 from the free throw line out of the timeout. 8 points, 4 rebounds off the bench for Kendall Coleman. We'll give you that answer, by the way, coming out of the next timeout.
Thank you.
That was a tough one because 33 conferences, but some of them just started.
Sure.
There haven't been enough games.
That's true. That's true.
Dream start to the second half for California Baptist. Outscoring Tarleton State post-halftime 10-3. Texans just 1 of 7 from the floor to start off this second half. Touch here for Travar Jackson. Down low, left wide, open underneath, and the easiest bucket Gaddy will have all season.
He had about 8 feet around him in all directions to just work with there. Definitely a missed assignment.
Texans able to get back to within 6. Stephen, they haven't led this game at all so far tonight. Wire to wire for the Lancers thus far. Open 3 for Stevenson. Yes!
Second half, baby. Brantley Stevenson catching fire.
8 points for Stevenson so far tonight.
He hit his first one of the night. That was an early bucket, and now
Fields. Look for that here. Williams lobs down low to Jackson. Not much of an offensive threat is Jackson. Mid-range 2 was missed. Nice offensive board by Williams, who missed the putback and didn't get the whistle. So an empty trip for the Texans. Lancers could push this thing to double digits. Already their largest lead of the night right here at 9 points.
By my count, no turnovers so far here in the second half, so Lancers valuing each possession.
They've also taken it to the basket a whole bunch. This time it was blocked away nicely from Jackson. Running the floor is Gaddy. Nearly lost it, regains possession. Down low. And a foul on Coleman, challenging Travar Jackson. Couple of free throws to come.
Yeah, good foul there. That looked like the possibility of a flush. Definitely 2 points. Send him to the line and make him earn it a little bit there.
The junior from Anchorage, Alaska. And last check at the weather up in Anchorage, 16 degrees. Nice evening.
Oh, it's cold for Anchorage. Anchorage is usually about 28 to 32 degrees because of the Chugach Mountains right there and then the Cook Inlet. That's why everyone moved to Anchorage, because the weather is perfect right there.
Why do you know all this again?
Oh, I was a weatherman in Alaska
there you
for
go.
a while. Yes, okay.
I set you up by that one. Goodrick checks out. Ivan Udrogo returns. Travar Jackson, West Anchorage High School. Lefty misses the second. Udrogo able to sky up for the board. I'll have to pick your brain more about those mountain ranges and weather patterns of Alaska at the next commercial break.
Don't want to bore any of the viewers here.
Here's Dominique Daniels Jr. Lancers by 8. Woodrogo, a spin cycle and 2. Stares at the hand on the way back. Ivan Woodrogo, a beautiful move.
Wow. That was a great move. At first, I thought there was a mismatch there, but I believe that was Jackson who was tasked with trying to defend YO, and that's like a mismatch in the middle.
8 points for Woodrogo, along with 8 rebounds. Nice move to the basket, and a left-handed finish for Devin Barnes.
Yeah, Barnes has been tough offensively all night. And there's the freshman, Innocente, getting after it defensively there.
Washington returns for Brantley Stevenson.
I like the play of the bigs here for the Lancers. Kendall Coleman off of the bench, obviously YO, and then Hunter Goodrick, all providing a lot of production.
Here is Coleman right on cue, and he was fouled. Backing down on Jackson. Foul was called there on Innocente. That's his second and the third on the Texans. Yeah, you mentioned the big guys, Stephen. Coleman with 8 points tonight. Woodrogo with 8. Goodrick with 9. They've been outstanding.
Yeah, and it's their contributions defensively and on the glass as well.
Another 3-ball queued up by Dominique Daniels Jr. His second triple of the ball game. He's got a game-high 12.
Love to see it. Like to see him going. You want to see him scoring in double digits, because if he's not, your offense is hurting.
Jackson will hoist a 3. That's not really his game. Didn't get it to go. And here comes CBU. Daniels Jr. quarterbacking this offense. Now slow it down. 11-point Lancer lead. Largest of the ball game so far. Daniels Jr. step back from 18 feet. Almost got the roll, wasn't meant to be, but Woodrogo cleans it up yet again. And the Lancers having their way so far in the second half.
Post presence, Drogo just too much there. YO doing a job in the post, but oh my gosh, Emmanuel Innocente, a very good defender. Dominique Daniels Jr. just made him look like he was on skates.
Woodrogo seems to be bound for a double-double, just 1 rebound away from doing so already, and the Texans turn it over. A timeout on the floor, and the second half has been dominated by the hometown CBU Lancers, outscoring Tarleton State 20-4. Tarleton and GCU, the only WAC schools still unbeaten at least 3-0. And take a look at our WAC scoreboard here.
I want to take a moment to apologize to everybody at home. I didn't even care about the trivia question. I really thought it was going to be Star Wars, and I was super, super disappointed.
Yeah,
so I apologize.
You had a 33% chance at getting it right. You barely looked at the question. For behind-the-scenes folks, he barely looked at the screen at all. GCU now 5-0 in conference play, by the way. They won by 10 over Abilene Christian, who will be in Riverside on Saturday. Woodrogo off the backboard. Another massive swat. Jaqueno in transition. He's fouled, and 2 free throws to come. But what a defensive cleanup from Ivan Woodrogo. Another big-time block, his 3rd of the night.
Wow, what a defensive... Wow, both teams there getting after it on defense. I am tongue-tied. Woodrogo, he was waiting. He could see that one happening in slow motion. He couldn't wait.
Things aligned perfectly for Woodrogo. Like we said, his 3rd block, 6th by CBU tonight. That's a new season high. 2 of 2 from the line for Blondo Jaqueno, and it's reaching danger time here for Tarleton State. 15-point second half deficit. Of course, that's going to draw some alarm bells if you're a CBU fan. They were up 15 in the second half against Seattle in their last game, ended up losing on a buzzer beater. But this has a different feel so far in this second half. The Lancers on a 7-0 run right now. They're kind of humming on all areas.
Corey Smith back in. Let's see if he's able to provide a spark off of the bench for the Texans here.
Foul down low that time on Brantley Stevenson. It's his first. And you bring up Ja'Cory Smith, and of course clearly not playing at 100% tonight. That's their leading scorer at 15 per game. Barnes, another block. It was Woodrogo who's now running the floor. They find him. Woodrogo steps inside the lane, and he was fouled.
I know Woodrogo got the block there, but credit Brantley Stevenson with the stellar defense to stay with Devin Barnes there. Barnes is not an easy offensive player to stay with, especially in the lane.
Domingos back in for Tarleton State. Gaddy will take a seat. 11:06 to go in this game, and the Lancers, who led by 1 at the break, have a 15-point advantage at the moment. 57% from the floor so far in the second half for CBU. Chiqueño had it blocked away. Good defensive play by Domingos. 3-on-2 break. Smith had it taken away midair by Stevenson. What a defensive effort from Brantley Stevenson. Lancers have numbers. Stevenson coast to coast. He's fouled hard. And a couple of free throws to come for the Cal Poly transfer.
Well, I tell you what, I talked about it at half. Attack the paint in the second half. I think it's safe to say that CBU has been doing that and take care of, value each and every possession. So far, at least by my count, Lancers with no turnovers here in the second half, at least in the first 9 and change.
Yeah, they had 8 in the first half, yet to commit one so far in the second. As Stevenson will trot up to the foul line, his first free throws of the night. One of the best free throw shooters on this Lancer team, although he hasn't gotten there a whole bunch this season, as Danielson checks back in.
I think the story, though, is the rebounds in this game. 34-18, Lancers doubling up on the Texans. That's big.
Yeah, that's shocking, based on what Tarleton State has done, specifically in offensive rebounding this season.
Right.
We mentioned over 12.5 offensive rebounds per game. Lancers are right there by them. Expected a tight tussle on the glass. It hasn't been the case. Double digits now for Brantley Stevenson, by the way. He's reached 10-plus in 9 of the 16 games this season for CBU. They lob down low to Lou Williams, who had to bobble the catch, missed the bunny, and the rebound's cleared by Woodrogo to secure a double-double. 10 and 10 for Ivan Woodrogo so far tonight.
Congratulations, big fella. He deserves it. I love seeing him get double-doubles.
And the blocks tonight as well for number 24 in white. Goodrick off to Washington. His quarter pocket 3 misses. This ball scrum for the boards goes to Tarleton State. Here come the Texans. Popping a 3 is Musa, who just checked in for the first time. Couldn't get it to go. And just nothing dropping for the Texans so far in this second half. They're 0 of 5 from 3. And 3 of 15 in this second half so far.
Yeah, Coach Jones looking for some offense off of the bench, some sort of a spark.
Give and go inside. Washington's second attempt from a quarter 3. No good again. Offensive board to Goodrick. Daniels will pop it. Woodrogo yet again. And the big fella rewarded with 2 more.
I just can't believe what we're seeing here on the boards. But Woodrogo putting in the work. Hunter Goodrick, Kendall Coleman, these guys are getting after it in the paint.
38-19 on the glass in favor of CBU. It's an 11-0 run now for the Lancers, who are running away with this thing. Domingos, no good. They're now plus 20 on the glass. Goodrick just 1 point away from a second double-double tonight for CBU. He's got 9 points and 11 rebounds. Lancers could stretch this out to 20-plus if they score here. Goodrick curls inside to the basket, fouled, and 1. And the emotion of the Lancer bench. They've lost 3 in a row. They're taking out their frustrations tonight against an undefeated WAC foe.
Yeah, you can feel the emotions from the Lancers bench, their staff, and you can see it on the face of Hunter Goodrick out there. This team needs this W in the worst way. Still plenty of ball game though here.
But a 21-point lead in just a dominant second half. Complete polar opposite of the second half the Lancers had the other night in Seattle, where they scored just 15 points in the entire second half. Right now, they're on a 13-0 run over the last 4:22, and Goodrick has secured that double-double now, his 4th of the season. Free throw does not go, so he's got 11 points and 11 rebounds, but yet another offensive rebound will put 20 more seconds up on the shot clock for CBU.
And Coleman getting in the action there. That's his 6th board.
He's also flirting with a double-double.
Yeah.
Lancers ended up turning it over, just their first giveaway of the second half. A missed 3 by Musa. And the Texans will keep possession.
Oh, they turned it over. 8 in the first half, but just 1 here in the second half. So that's impressive here from the Lancers.
Lancers had a huge second half in their road win in the conference opener way back in November against Southern Utah. Ran away and really was able to dominate that second half of that game. But since then, it's been frustrating times around this program. They know they have the potential. And tonight, they've really been able to pop off in this second half. Over a 20-point advantage in this second half.
Well, we've talked about it. There's a ton of talent on this team. And just for them to all put it together, they're really playing as a team. And it looks like they're reacting to situations and not thinking about it out here tonight.
Yeah, strength in numbers. Lancers already with 4 guys in double figures. Led by Woodrogo and Daniels Jr., each with 12. Coleman trying to join that double-digit party. Traveled on the baseline, and it will take us to a timeout on the floor. All Lancers in the second half in front of a good crowd here tonight. They have blown this one open. Under 8 to run for CBU over the last 5 minutes and 3 seconds. Stephen, 28-8 since halftime.
Attacking the paint, one of the things we had kind of talked about in the half that I thought CBU could exploit here in the second half. Total for the game, they've got 38 points in the painted area, does the Lancers. It was a good team effort by CBU here so far.
Yeah, complete team performance thus far, no question about it. A couple of new faces in for Tarleton State, including Miles Lewis, who's running point now for the Texans, number 1 in purple. There's Izzy Miles, another new face. Down low, and a tough 2 for Lou Williams. Been a quiet night by his standards, now just 2 of 6 from the floor. He's got 8 points. Lancers have led this game from the onset. And a foul will be called on Scotty Washington for the turnover for CBU.
Well, they've got a sizable lead right now, but still take care of the basketball. Get the most out of every offensive possession. Don't rush. Take your time and stay after it on the glass.
So the Lancers in their last game, a 2-point loss in Seattle, did not have a single guy over 10 points. So far tonight, Stephen, 4 guys over 10 points, with Chiqueno and Coleman close behind. They each have 8. So they could finish realistically with 6 guys in double figures, and that's when this team is at its best.
Yeah, spreading the wealth around and not relying too much on 1 or 2 guys to get the job done.
Bucket for California native Miles Lewis out of Sacramento, the junior. First points of the night. Lancers getting a bit sloppy with the basketball over this last little sequence. Under 7 minutes to play, their lead is 17. Lancers trying to snap a 3-game losing streak and set up a big-time conference matchup on Saturday against Abilene Christian. Tarleton State will travel to Phoenix and take on an undefeated GCU squad. Another
that's
second.
Not gonna be easy.
No, it will not be. That place will be rocking and rolling, no doubt. Here's Stevenson. Shot clock running down. Chiqueno with a smart play. Got bumped hard. We'll go to the foul line.
Yeah, a couple possessions there in that possession because of the offensive board, and CBU able to milk some of that clock down a little bit there.
So not only with 4 guys in double figures, and if Chiqueno can hit a pair here, he would join him as a 5th guy in double figures, but Goodrick and Woodrogo already with double-doubles as well. First free throw in and out from Blondo Chiqueno. Lancers have been very solid at the foul line tonight as well, above their season average by a long shot. 8 of 11 as a team. Chiqueno in and out on a couple of free throws. Coleman able to clean it up and put it back up and in for 2. So there's 10 for Kendall Coleman tonight. He's now got 8 rebounds himself.
Yeah, another candidate for the double-double club here tonight. But yeah, I mean, when you see stats like this, you know that everybody was involved.
Lob down low, Domingos. Fouled and 1. Dario Domingos, who came over from a fellow WAC school in UT Arlington. And he'll have a chance at a 3-point play. Foul went on Coleman. That's his second. And Domingos will shoot one free throw. 6'7", 250. He's a load down low for the Texans.
Yeah, he got some quality minutes against his former mates last week in that big win for Tarleton State.
Able to convert on the three-point play. Texans looking for one big run. Got to get it back down to single digits. Still down by 16 at the moment. Stevenson. Not able to hit. His foot might have been on the line anyways. And here come the Texans. Able to keep that in play. Domingos now down low. Finishes and one. Just had a three-point play and will have a chance at yet another. And don't look now, but the Texans, who once trailed by 21, they've got it back down to 14.
Some good quality minutes from Domingos off the bench. A couple good plays here on the post. It's going to prompt Coach Croy to bring Woodrogo back off of the bench.
Domingos, a guy that only averages 3.5 points per game in 6.5 minutes. Missed the and one free throw.
A four-court press here.
And a timeout will be taken by Rick Croy and the Lancers. So CBU trying to secure their second conference win of the year. They've got 5 minutes and 10 seconds to try to nurse it. Their lead, with 5:10 to go. But I don't know if I've ever seen this covering college basketball, Steven. First 3 conference games, all wins by one possession at SFA, UTRGV, and UTA. And that included a couple of threes, one of them a buzzer beater, the other with 24 seconds left. It has been a dream run so far for the Texans. Not so much success here tonight, though, on the West Coast. Woodrogo with a push shot, and it's been his night. Got the shooter's touch. 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks for Ivan Woodrogo.
And those 4 blocks were huge, each one of them. Well, at least 3 of the 4 kind of brought this house down. Great to see YO's coming out party here.
Domingos going back to work, and it's stripped.
Great defense there. Blondo Chiquinho coming in with the help defense on the big fella.
So a 16-point advantage with 4:22 to go. Lancers absolutely fine with being patient offensively. A couple of teams that typically do run the shot clock down quite a bit. Lancers average possession so far this year, 18 seconds. Tarleton over 19 seconds per possession. Stevenson's 3 rimmed out. It had been a shooting slump for the Lancers coming into this game, especially from downtown over their last 5 games, shooting 22% from 3. Tonight, not much better, just 25%, but the offense has had a lot more flow overall.
Yeah, and I think it comes again from, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but getting those points in the paint, being aggressive there, whether it's with the guards, driving the lane, or with your big fellas.
Daniels Jr. will have a chance at a 3-point play. 14 tonight for Dominique Daniels Jr. And it will take us to another timeout on the floor. Points in the paint, you mentioned them, 44.
Fans at the end of the year, they're going to look at some of these standings and they're going to go, oh, the WAC's not that good. These teams beat the crud out of each other night in and night out. Yeah, GCU's got a good record, but man, what a tough conference.
Cannibalism at its finest.
Yes.
Dominique Daniels Jr. gets the 3-point play converted on. 15 now for Daniels Jr., near his season average of just over 17.5. He leads the way, but as we've documented at length, it's been a very balanced effort so far tonight from California Baptist.
Yeah, and I think, we're talking about statistics offensively a lot here, but starts on the defensive end.
Domingos is a one-man 3-point play. He has a chance at a third one of the second half alone.
He's got lobbying coach. Hey, let me get some more minutes out here. Might want to start me or something.
Hey, he has 10 now for Domingos. Matching his season high, which came all the way back on opening night against North Texas Dallas. A non-D1. Got it to go, so make it now 11. There is the season high from Domingos. It's a Tarleton State team, of course, that their best player, Ja'Cory Smith, played 16 minutes in the first half, has hardly been a factor at all in the second, clearly not fully healthy. And that's hurt this team, but CBU's really taking it to him. There's Blondo Chiqueño. He's over the 10-point threshold. And for the Lancers tonight, it has been an offensive clinic of balance.
I mean, they're shooting, 48% from the floor. That'll get it done, man.
Yeah, no question. 6 guys now in double figures for CBU, as the mid-range 2 was converted on. Lancers so far this year, when they've shot it over 40% from the floor, which they're clearly doing tonight, they're 6-1.
Yeah.
So when the offense has rolled, the defense has been a constant. That's when they're at their best. It's just been the inconsistency that's plagued them a bit so far this season. Chiqueño back to the rim, couldn't get it to go this time. As we roll under 2 minutes to play in regulation.
I think moving forward, that's got to be the game plan for the Lancers, is concentrate on getting the highest percentage shot that you can in these offensive sets. Obviously, you're going to get high percentage shots in your transition. It starts with the good defense sometimes to get that transition bucket.
Gaddy will return. The Texans have this down to 14. Just a minute 51 to go, but they got their full court press on. Looking for a miraculous comeback here. Daniels Jr. will leak out, get the inbound, and get it across half court.
We've certainly seen crazier things happen.
We've had great finishes in this building all year long. This, if Tarleton State was able to do it, would far and away be the craziest thing we've seen, but you never know. Here's Daniels Jr., 15 on the night. Gets inside. We'll have a couple of free throws with just under 90 seconds to go. So taking the look ahead, Tarleton State, they obviously have to flush this one away and set their sights on the top dog in this league in Grand Canyon. And CBU, they get to take on a team they've grown pretty familiar with in Abilene Christian. Played them last year in the first round of the WAC tournament. Sent Abilene Christian home, but Brett Tanner's squad always very, very gritty. Similar to Tarleton State in the respect of, you're going to have to play 40 minutes of in-your-face basketball. And the Wildcats already with a couple of big wins this year. They battled GCU tough tonight in Phoenix. It'll be a really good game here on Saturday night.
I had kind of 3 favorite teams coming into WAC conference play. Tarleton State actually was one of them. GCU, obviously, and then Abilene Christian was the third.
Tip-off will be at 5 o'clock here on the West Coast on Saturday. Mid-range 2 falling away for Izzy Miles. That goes. Some of these seldom used guys for the Texans have come in and really taken advantage of some minutes here down the stretch.
Yeah, their time to show that they belong and that they deserve some minutes here from Coach.
Stevenson will milk this thing down. So the Lancers are going to move to 9-7, 2-3 in conference play. Tarleton State will fall to 10-5 and 3-1. Goodrick. A cherry on the top. Hunter Goodrick with a triple, his second of the night. And a statement evening for California Baptist on their home floor as they are bludgeoning Star Wars movie.
Empire Strikes Back, actually.
Classic.
Yeah. Can't go wrong.
We've got a man that respects the classics. I appreciate that.
I don't even like the new Star Wars. I shouldn't say that on there. Sorry to all the Star Wars people out there. Sorry.
Hey, you're going to get some mean tweets now.
Yes, I am.
That was Stephen Douglas, not Braden Bell, for the record. Here's Lewis.
Well, it's just so dumb. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Down low, Jackson. 1-3 for Miles is splashed home. And CBU should be able to dribble this thing out.
I mean, who's Ray related to?
Sorry. Tylen Riley will dribble this thing out on what was a dominant wire-to-wire win for California Baptist here tonight. They needed a win in the worst of ways. They get it done on their home floor over a previously unbeaten WAC squad. 77-63 the final score. CBU picks up their second conference win. Tarleton State with their first defeat. Lancers got to feel good about things as they head into